So today we're going to be taking a look at Uomo Signature by Ferragamo, one of the few Uomo flankers. Of course, the original Uomo is what started it all, and that fragrance in and of itself caught quite a bit of hype, and even now is still a really solid, cheap fragrance. You can get these on discounters for about $30, $35. I will link this one and some of the other Uomo flankers down below to discounters, so you can grab these at a good deal. They're affordable fragrances. This one in particular, along with the original Uomo, are a couple that perform great, and these are honestly just some great bang for your buck. Since we're going to be focusing on this one today, I'm going to tell you how it smells, how it performs, when you can wear it, and ultimately if I think this one is worth picking up and how it compares to the original. So let's go and jump right into this one, starting off with how this smells. When you first spray it on, you'll get a lot of that sweetness right off the bat, just like you do from the original. Now, the original has this overwhelming amount of sweetness. It's got this gourmand smell. One of the main notes is sweet notes. If you look on Fragrantica, that's what it is in the original. So, I mean, it's pretty good, accurate representation. Very sweet, nice tonka bean in there. This one opens up in a similar fashion with tonka bean. However, this one quickly starts to turn in a different direction with the introduction of a beautiful roasted coffee note and also this nice, sexy leather undertone. And that's what takes this fragrance and just this DNA and just bumps it up a notch to even better than what it is already. Again, the original Uomo, really good stuff. Very sweet, very strong performing, great for wintertime. Not going to be quite for everyone because of how sweet it is, but still, very nice scent. This one is that DNA, but just with a bit more of a slightly kind of rough, bad boy-ish edge to it, just a bit of this darker edge. I mean, you see the bottle here all blacked out. Kind of gives the impression of a more evening out, sexy, kind of refined look, right? I mean, that's just kind of how it looks, and that's how it smells too. It just takes that DNA, adds that coffee, adds that leather, just makes it a lot more refined and really a lot more appealing to me. I'm all about coffee and fragrances. I love the note. I love coffee in real life. I love leather in fragrances. It's one of my favorite notes, and the two coming together here with that tonka bean still just creates an amazing, amazing scent. It still has that Uomo DNA in here. It just has a nice different take on it, which a lot of you guys would appreciate. If you're someone who isn't the biggest fan of the original Uomo, maybe there isn't enough to counteract that overwhelming amount of sweetness that you get, this one may be the way you want to go. It just has that nice counterbalance here, whereas the original really does not. Still gourmand leaning, just like Uomo, and it does have those qualities, so it is something that is kind of delicious and sexy smelling, really nice for fall and winter time. Talking about when you can wear this one, it's definitely going to be more for those evening outs, in my opinion. The original Uomo, for me, is almost more of like a daytime casual type of scent, just because there's not really this darker edge to it. This one does have this kind of darker, sexier edge to it, that leather coming through, that nice coffee in here, giving it just more of this evening out appropriate type of smell, whether you be dressed up just a little bit or still relatively dressed down, just going out to a nice dinner, going out to a party, going to a bar, whatever. Obviously, right now, some of that stuff is obsolete, but you guys understand what I'm saying here. All of the craziness going on aside, those are the types of situations that this fragrance would be suited for. Just those kind of evenings out, having fun type of thing. You want to wear something that's going to cut through the cold air, but still be fun, playful, sexy, just with this a bit of this edge as well, and again, has great performance. And that's what I love so much about this one. And the original is the performance to price ratio is off the charts. Normally, there's some designer fragrances that cost twice or triple the price of this one that don't perform this good, but this one performs really well. Longevity on my skin, I get about 8 to 9 hours, which is really, really good, especially for a $35 fragrance. That's amazing. Projection is a little bit closer to the skin on this one. For me personally, the original Uomo pushes out pretty strong. I do find that this one is dialed back a little bit in terms of projection, but still nothing that is like a skin scent. I don't want you to get the wrong impression, but just compared to the original is very loud. That one has ambroxan in there. It is listed. It is something that I pick up on a little bit, and I think that kind of adds to just the projection of that one. I don't really pick up on that here, and I don't even think it's listed in this fragrance. I don't know if it is maybe still in here. They just didn't put it in the notes or whatever. I really don't get it, and it really doesn't behave like something with ambroxan where it just pushes out and is very strong. That type of note is something that I do go anosmic to, and that's typically because it is just so strong and it can really kind of overload your nose, overload your senses if you're not really used to it. So great performance from this one. Projection dialed back a little bit, but nothing too crazy. And I actually like that about this because this is one that you could potentially wear on a date, evening encounters when you want to be a little bit more intimate or just a little bit more dressed up. I mean, here's the thing. If you are in a situation where you are a bit more dressed up, nice dinner date, evening, whatever, you don't want something that's going to be loud and obnoxious. That just defeats the whole purpose of dressing nice and being at a nice event. That type of thing is more suited for parties, bars, clubs, walking through the streets, whatever, right? That's what the original Uomo would be great at. This one, again, is all about being more refined, being a bit more dark, sexy, slightly edgy in here. Really, really nice. And again, that performance being dialed back is perfect. Quality is good for, again, the price that you're paying for this one. No complaints there. Is it something that stacks up to a Chanel or a Dior or an Armani or something like that? No, but it's not something that smells like a cheapie. It doesn't smell like, some, rushed together, cheap synthetic, something that you'd find at a rack store just sitting there on the shelf. It's not like that. It's got good quality for the price. I've been impressed with all the Ferragamo fragrances that I've smelled. Even something like F Black, a lot cheaper than this one at $20. Another one of my favorites. That one's got really good quality too, and it's $20. I mean, that's hard to beat. These are solid fragrances. And of course, we're talking about compliments. This is going to be a really nice compliment getter. Actually, I just sprayed this one on prior to recording this video, and my girlfriend loved the smell of it. She thought it smelled really, really nice. And again, my girlfriend's not always the biggest fan of the sweeter fragrances. She normally gravitates towards the freshies, the citruses, the aquatics. As I've been myself getting into the more sweet type fragrances, and now that we are in winter, I've been having her smell more of them. She's been coming around to them. Prada Black is one that's been her favorite lately. And this one right here, she liked this one a lot. So I have a feeling she will be requesting me to wear this fragrance often as well, which is good. I like this one. I'd love to wear this one more. And again, coming from someone who normally doesn't like these sweeter leaning fragrances that much, she really enjoys this one. So that's pretty cool. And again, that kind of just shows really, I think, how well this one is done, and also just, of course, that her nose is changing as we go on as well. But really, really good one. It's going to be a solid, solid compliment getter. That coffee, that leather, that tonka bean, sexy, sweet, warm, inviting. It's just a recipe for compliments. And again, if you wear this in an evening situation, it's going to be killer. Trust me, guys, this stuff is awesome. So to go ahead and start to wrap this one up, my final thoughts on Uomo Signature by Salvatore Ferragamo. Amazing, amazing flanker. This stuff is awesome. Very well done. Remember, like the original Uomo, that one's great too. I would recommend to have both. Really, I mean, these are not going to be redundant. While they do share the similar DNA and you can pick out similarities, it doesn't mean that they're redundant. Again, more of an evening, more refined, kind of sexy, slightly mysterious leaning scent. The original is just more playful, more sweet, more loud. Perfect for daytime. If you're just going out, doing your typical errands or whatever during the day, you want something that's going to smell nice to people around you, cut through the cold air, just hit yourself with a couple sprays of the original, you're going to be great. But what I love is when evening starts to come around, maybe you're sitting by the fire, you're in for the night, you've got your hot chocolate or whatever, and you're with your significant other, or maybe you're going out for an evening, for a nice little dinner date, and whatever, anything like that. That's when you can spray on Uomo Signature. This one will layer over top of the original perfectly, and it's just a great end of the day. It's a nice duo to have. I mean, they're not going to be redundant. They overlap great. They layer great. It's just honestly a couple really great fragrances to have for the cooler weather. And again, you're not breaking the bank. You can pick up 2 of these for the price of 1 designer fragrance, or even you could pick up 3 of these for the price of 1 designer fragrance. I mean, this stuff gets expensive. These are solid for the price. So guys, that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you think of Uomo Signature down below. And remember, I will have a link to this one, the original, and some others down below as well. If you want to pick these up, make sure you use those links and grab them on a discount. Retail price on these is absurd, just like any fragrance. Don't pay that. You can get these for $30, $35 all the time. Amazing, amazing steal. Don't sleep on these, especially this one. This stuff is awesome. If you love coffee, if you love leather, if you love tonka bean, this is going to be a knockout. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.